Hi everyone, my name is Luciana Debs and I'll be talking about our paper Academic Collaboration in Journal Publications, Findings from a Sustainability Perspective, which was co-authored also with Ms. Sara Brissi, and we're both from Purdue University. So we've been seeing a lot more collaboration or collaborative endeavors from the AEC industry. Specifically on processes that require a more holistic approach to design and building, such as building information modeling, lean construction, collaborative delivery methods, and sustainability. And the industry has picked up on this, but academia has been a slow adopter of further collaboration among those disciplines. Interesting enough, 5 years ago, Munson, Dusick, and Neff studied topics that were relevant to multiple AEC disciplines, but they did focus on the topic and not the affiliation. And they came up with 8 themes that were relevant to all those multiple AEC disciplines. So our research question is really to find out which topics in academic journals have been mostly authored by collaborative endeavors between Faculty of Construction and other AEC disciplines or departments, and how that collaboration is structured. Our goals is really to understand, which topics are there, to really point those out to stimulate more interdisciplinary research, and to describe the challenges of this type of research in the AEC field. So we used a bibliometric analysis and that really measures quantitatively aspects of the scholarly publications, including collaboration. However, there is a limitation to that because it's important to note that collaborations may happen in other aspects, such as collaborative grants, could happen in teaching efforts, in consulting, that might not lead to publications. So it's just a partial snapshot of what's going on. So to select the journals, because we're focusing on environmental sustainability, that's kind of the subject area, and then we focused within those in construction and building energy. We saw which journals were deemed as Q1 by SJR, and that were the journals, the papers would have to be published in 2018, so just 1 year to kind of understand what's going on. And then we selected 3 main journals: Building and Environment, Energy in Buildings, and Journal of Building Performance Simulation. There are 2 others that were closely related, but they really focused more on the engineering side, so they were excluded from the analysis. So the aggregation level that we defined was the departmental affiliation, because that's what actually we wanted to measure. And that actually presented our first challenge, because first, departmental affiliation may not represent the academic training of an author. So an architect in the construction department may be in itself a way to integrate the AEC disciplines, but we did not measure that. That would require going into each of those authors and finding out their background information, maybe a future study. And also some joint departments exist, and how do you classify them? So we did find, the Institute of Construction and Architecture. So in this case, we actually classified them as construction and as architecture. And then there are some departments that are Department of Built Environment. So what does that mean? In that case, we just said this is a collaborative department in itself. But really it warrants some further investigation. And then for the emerging topics, we did those based on title, abstract, and keyword information analysis. Then we analyzed also the impact of papers per topic of collaboration based on data from December 2019. So how we did it, we downloaded all the papers, we populated this Excel spreadsheet, then coded by the department by discipline, looking for the ones from construction, then evaluated the co-authors' information, then found out the topics and evaluated the impact of that research using citations. So the total number of articles from 2018 from those 3 journals were 1,455. So we needed a way to streamline populating that spreadsheet. And one of the first challenges we had was, first we hit the daily limits on paper downloads, and I really don't remember how many papers were that, but we were constantly hitting those. And then the other thing was, like, even if we did download all those papers, how do you populate 1,455 articles in a spreadsheet? So what we did was we used the Ceramine, which is an open source application designed to extract affiliation information to an XML format, and then we wrote a Python script to act on the results of that, to convert that to CSV for coding. So with that, we have our results. So out of the 1,455 papers published in those 3 journals, 70 were actually authored by construction faculty or collaborative departments. This is actually just a small amount of the total, about almost 5% of the total publications. Interestingly, the Journal Building Performance Simulation had no relevant papers. The other 2 actually had a pretty, Energy in Buildings had a slightly more, but both of them have a reasonable number. Then the type of collaboration, we found that construction with other AEC disciplines was actually predominant, and you'll find there's 5 papers that are different. So there's 65 here and 70 on the previous spreadsheet, is because there were some construction authors from construction departments that actually collaborated with non-university settings, maybe labs, maybe companies. So those were excluded because we're just trying to evaluate academic collaboration. And most of them were between universities, so that was interesting. Construction without collaboration outside of the construction disciplines was actually only 10 papers, and the work of exclusively collaborative departments, such as departments of built environment, was actually just 10. So the majority was really construction with other AEC disciplines, which is encouraging. The main topics, we found 4 main topics. One is performance analysis, which is a lot of the papers were from that topic. Then indoor environmental quality, then decision-making and evaluation methods, and then life cycle assessment. So if you want to know more, I suggest you go into the paper because we explained a little bit more what's included in those. Citation-wise, so the impact of that research is pretty similar across the topics, though this is just the average. Again, in the paper we do a minimum and maximum and a median. They don't vary that much. The decision making and evaluation methods seems slightly greater than the others, and also in this category had one of the most cited papers throughout, so that also affects the number. So for conclusions, we did find that collaborative research among faculty is found to be more frequent, at least in the journals, in the papers published in those journals, than non-collaborative research. We identified 4 main themes for collaborative AEC research, and interestingly, about 1/3 of the paper and 2 of the most cited analyzed papers were related to performance analysis. But we also did find 3 main challenges. One is to really identify the affiliations using the departments, because some are collaborative departments, some have more than one discipline, so it's difficult to classify. Then also the increasing number of published papers, so you're going to find if you have to download of them, you're going to hit daily limits. And then you need to establish more automated methods for data extraction, because now there is really a lot more research. There is an increasing number of papers being published. So I hope this was a quick summary of the paper. If you want more information, hopefully you can find the paper online, or feel free to contact me. Thank you very much.